Hello. Enjoying that sunshine out there? I wish I was. Why didn't you speak out about the Renee Good shooting? Last Sunday we presented an entire editorial addressing this murder. It was a preemptive editorial on top of that, because this needed to be acknowledged immediately. Perhaps you missed it somehow. We also discussed the tendency to compare this ICE task force to the Gestapo of the Third Reich, and how for once you've got it 100% correct. Absolutely dead on accurate. The comparison is unmistakable. What do you think about Scott Adams dying? Scott Adams? I thought he passed away years ago. Didn't he? Well, yeah, that's very sad. I'm sure that's especially disappointing for science fiction fans. I never read any of his books, but I know that they were very popular. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that sort of thing. And I remember that ostensibly, that the meaning of life and the meaning of the universe is apparently the number 42. I remember that much. Yeah. Where was the beef? Past tense of where is the beef? As in, where's the beef? If memory serves, it was right there at Wendy's the whole time, just waiting for Wendy's kind of people. Guinness Stout, cold or warm? You mean in terms of my own personal preference? I do have an answer for this, although I am a little embarrassed over part of it. You know, like most in this country, Americans, you know, they take their beer or their ale or cider or stout or malt liquor, take it cold, you know, ice cold, chilled, frost on the bottle. So much so that when you hear about a beverage served warm, or more accurate to say room temperature, it's kind of off-putting, you know. And in any case, up until a certain point, the only time that I ever had Guinness Stout, it was served to me cold, you know. I mean, I didn't have much choice in the matter. It came directly from an icebox. But there was one time, changed everything. This was years ago. This was so many years ago, I can put it into perspective for you. This took place at the former Rum Rebellion House. And to put it that much more into the past, this was before everything was so uselessly and unnecessarily poisoned. This was back at a time in which I truly believed that I was in good, solidly good company. You know, and as such, we used to party there all night long and on into the next day. And typically, it was almost always the last one standing and the first one up in the morning. And you might remember the way little Captain Dave had that front room organized. He had couches and sofas and love seats and easy chairs lining the whole side of the house and the whole length of the front of the house. So there was always some place to pass out. And I remember, on this occasion, I sat up in the middle of all of those seats, right in front of that coffee table. and I looked around, and there was this pile of punk rock skinhead bodies passed out on the floor to the left and the right, snoring and drooling. I was that first one up. And as always, first instinct was to find that unopened can from the night before. I looked around. There were all these wounded soldiers on that coffee table, but there was this one bottle. And I leaned over and I grabbed it, and someone had started to open it. The seal wasn't completely broken, so it was an unopened bottle of Guinness Stout. But it had been sitting out there all night long. And this was during the summertime. So believe me, this was more than just lukewarm. But there was nothing else to be had. So I took it, and I finished opening it up. And I had a great big swig of that. And in that moment I knew what it was all about. The thick, dense, enriched, chocolatey, molasses-like intensity of Guinness Stout at room temperature. It was almost indescribable. You know, it was a typical night. It's not like any of us had dinner the night before. We just came over there to drink. So I had that first one of the day, on an empty stomach. It was not only like drinking something, it was like eating something. You want to talk about drinking your breakfast. Oh, that was divine. And from that point forward, not that I had many occasions, but from that point forward, that is how I had my Guinness Stout. The way it was intended to be enjoyed over in Ireland proper. Yeah. What is the best buffet in Portland? The best buffet was an all-you-can-eat Chinese restaurant way out at the end of Southeast 82nd, across the street from where the Hometown Buffet used to be. Unfortunately, it's long gone. It was run by the same folks that ran the Golden Dragon Buffet downtown. And when the Golden Dragon closed, ironically, the best buffet became the best buffet in the entire province. It was the place to go. It was a wonderful buffet. The prices were incredibly low. It was all hidden away. Hardly anybody in there. Almost never crowded. Wonderful little hideaway. Yeah. Unless you mean of the existing buffets, which one is the best one? In which case, well, you don't have that many anymore. Most of them are gone now. That stupid, useless damn virus shut them all down. You have the Kumi Buffet, the Tintin Buffet, the Super King Buffet, the F&J Buffet, the Chang's Mongolian Grill, and then you have Namaste, which is Indian buffet. The rest are Chinese, or at least Oriental. And out of all of those, I mean, they all have something to offer. But my favorite, my preference, if I had to choose, would be the F&J Buffet off of 122nd and Division. And the reason why is that, unlike all the other ones, but just like the best buffet and the Golden Dragon before it, the F&J Buffet includes the beverages in the set price for the meal. None of the other restaurants do that. You have to pay extra for something to drink. But at the F&J Buffet, they have an entire bank of soda pop, and it's included with the price of the meal. That might not seem like a big deal, but these days it is, especially since it's all you can drink. And in my case, I scarcely ever have soda pop, so it is a big deal. It's very enjoyable to have all of those choices, all those options with which to augment the food. Yes, indeed. If that is what you mean by what is the best buffet in Portland.